Thanks for checking into the positivity in where everything is copacetic because God is in it. If you are new here, welcome by checking in. On this video, you have automatically been given the silver package, but please do upgrade to gold by subscribing to this channel or all the way up top to platinum by not only subscribing but liking this video, checking in with a comment below, and sharing with your friends. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Daniel Robdon, Sir Robdon, and today we're doing something a bit different, right?
Yes, all right. But just before we get into that, we just want to establish that this, the Robdons channel, we will be looking at everything people. So that is from family to vlogs to migration,
lifestyle.
fun. Yep. So everything that is going to give you pertinent information that will help you to become a better you. All right. Yeah. And that's it. This week we're talking about migrating to the UK. All right. A lot of persons are thinking, how do I migrate to UK? That's hard. That's difficult. And then you remember those days when we used to wonder if we'd ever get to the UK?
I never imagined coming to the UK. It was never on the list.
Exactly. It's not like America that is within reach. It's almost like you can step out of Jamaica into America. You are in Jamaica, and that's like 8-9 hours by plane away. So it's quite a
whole
good
different
distance.
Continent.
All right, great. So we thought we'd provide some insight to persons as to how you can get here. All right, so there are many different routes, different ways how people can migrate to the UK. But the path that we're going to talk about here in this particular video
is for the teachers.
Is teachers. All right, so if you're a teacher, you are qualified to migrate to the UK. All right, but let's clear up some myth. You know, prior to us coming here, we have heard a number of times that, hey, you have to be a science teacher, technology
STEM,
teacher,
math,
engineering, math. That's what STEM is. All right, in order to migrate. Well, I just want to say, whereas that may give you an advantage because don't know maths teacher short. You know?
Yeah, the STEM areas on a whole, they're always in demand.
Right. Other teachers have migrated here. Yeah, my wife is.
Well, I do geography, social studies, English, and what's the next one? History.
All right. And she is here. All right, and I've known persons who have done other subject areas and are here. So it all has to do with demand. The demand and supply. It does not mean there's an X on other subject areas. It's all a matter of supply and demand. All right, supply and demand. And so we have a lot of things that is impacting the supply chain of workers now in the UK. We have Brexit, and with Brexit, for those people who don't know what Brexit means, that England, Britain left the EU. And so because they have left the EU, most of the workers that were EU persons would have gone back home, or I think they have up until December of this year, 2021. So they are going to go back home. And so what that is going to do is to create a shortage of workers. And it's quite a bit of the UK population are actually international workers, or by what we say, British nationals. All right, so let's get into talking about why should you consider migrating to the UK. So in other countries, right, most other countries, if you're migrating, they do allow you to move with your family, but that's if you are actually married only, they consider that relationship. But to our surprise, when we were coming here, we learned that the UK actually recognizes common law relationship. And so if your spouse is common law, means you're not yet formally married, but you're in a relationship, and you want to migrate together, they will recognize that, and you could qualify to actually come here. All right, I guess they are saying what matters is what you're bringing on the table. And if you are an asset to them, then they are willing to recognize you. All right. It definitely allows for your family as well to come. So in terms of your children, they can come with you and they can be here with you. Enroll in a UK school, access UK education. Yeah.
And on that note, as it relates to family, when we're going to have a separate video about the US because we migrated to the US as well. But when we were coming here, I didn't have to wait months for a permit to start working. Like coming here immediately, I could have sought a job and start, earning. So that's an advantage to migrating to other areas.
Excellent point. So if you were going to the US, as my wife said, we'll talk about it in another video. But if we're going to the US, you'd have to stay home and apply for an actual work permit.
Right.
When you get the work permit, then you are allowed to work. The type of visa that you get to come to the UK is a Tier 2 visa, right? Which allows you to work. So what that means is that if I am the main applicant, or if I am the applicant, yes, and my wife is coming as my dependent, she gets the same kind of visa as I got, right? What that means also is that for persons who would have gone to the USA and they are going on a J1 visa, the applicant will get a J1. His or her dependent will get a J2 visa, which allows them to work anywhere, but they have to wait until they get
the approval from USCIS.
Right. Here you get the same visa.
Right.
And the other thing is that you start acquiring or accumulating points, which can eventually matriculate into.
Yes, it's a situation. But we never do want to talk about that anyway. But yeah.
Right, but we wanted to give you all the plus, the advantage before we get into how you actually get here, so you can actually start make up your mind and know if you actually want to come here. All right. I'm sure that persons are going to sit there and they're wondering, so what are some of the drawbacks to coming here? All right.
Expensive.
Well, it does take quite a bit of money.
It's an investment because you already have an idea that, all right, after putting in this, then there is something that I can look forward to, as opposed to looking somewhere else where you'll have to go back to your country after a certain time. It's not a choice to say, easily I can, make the transition.
Right. So whatever it costs you, right, you know that there is the potential, the advantage, there is a chance for you to actually matriculate to citizenship. And so, yeah, you look forward to that. Going to America on one of those cultural exchange program, you are going on well, it's a cultural
exchange, so basically.
Right, so you're there for 3 years and might be extended to two more years, which is equivalent to 5.
Right.
And so if you don't get a transfer from that to another type of visa, maybe a H-1B visa, you have to come back home. But when you come to the UK, it's kind of different. Once you have done the 5 years, then you can start the process.
Considering if you choose to.
Yeah.
So.
If you choose, so you can choose to stay. So that's the advantage. All right, so when we talk about expense, we're talking about so you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank to actually show before you apply for the visa. I know that for some agencies, £945, or if you want, just round it off to £1,000 that you need to be able to show, and that's for one person. So if your family have 2 persons, that might go up a little more. 3 family
members.
Yeah, family of 3, go up to 3, go up some more, it increments more, 4 increments more. And you can get all of this on the UK government website to get all the information. But it increments based on the amount of family you have. And you would understand that the more people is more food. Obviously, you have to get a bigger place to rent, and that's going to cost you some money. All right. Another disadvantage is that when you come to the UK, you have to pay something called council tax.
Council tax, that's different from your taxes, but then we also have an advantage with the break.
Oh yeah, there's an advantage where if you're a Jamaican teacher or a teacher who is of the Commonwealth, you might be eligible to apply for a 2-year break for the first 2 years that you actually come. But England on a whole has a lot of tax. You have NIS tax, you have the council tax as was mentioned, and then you have other fees that you actually contribute to, and you don't get a tax return. All right. Versus in the USA, they would get back a tax return. You don't get a tax return. All right. And here's another thing that you pay for, that when you come to the UK, you are actually going to also pay what we call a television license. And that's if you want to watch BBC, by the way, British Broadcasting Corporation, you have to pay a TV license. Of course, if you're going to use some other network like Sky and others, there might be different arrangements. This one is limited to if you want BBC. And most persons, we're young people nowadays, we don't really watch TV straight. We watch Netflix. Straight through internet. All right. So and again, this applies if you're going to watch any of their programs live. All right. So it's not. It doesn't apply if you're watching a YouTube video that is that has been uploaded to their site. Good. All right. So people now might do that. So those are some of the disadvantages. If you're going to work in places like, depending on where you're working, just like if you're in any other country, the city is going to cost you more, outside the city will cost you less. It's likely that there are going to be some communities or some areas in England that will cost you
more expensive, because we don't live in a city area, but it's expensive.
Right. All right. So you have to again start looking at where do
location.
Where do I migrate, or where do I decide to live? All right, so that's going to be some of the things you have to bear in mind and pay attention to.
And an advantage to also location is, the range in pay, because somebody in London gets more it relates to somebody who is here on a basic level.
Right. So how that works out, right? So teachers have so we have what is called, I think it's called infringe inside of London and outside of London. All right, and so in these particular areas, they have different base rates or different rates for the different levels. So teachers in England start at different levels. So this is another disadvantage. If you're migrating from another country to here, you might be starting at an unqualified level. Then you gradually matriculate up to M1, M2, M3, M4. M5, M6, and then you can perhaps move on to U1, U2, and then on to senior leadership. All right. One thing with England is that every year there's a tendency for you to move up the scale until you reach M6. All right. So you move up the scale, which means you naturally get a little troops on your pay every now and then. 2 pence. Little 2 pence on your pay. All right, so that's what happens. All right, so those are the disadvantage.
Mixed with advantages.
Right, disadvantage and advantage. Of course, you can get your QTS. Once you have your QTS, then you will be considered a teacher, and at that particular point, you will get your M1. You will start at an M1, and you gradually matriculate up the scale. All right, but we'll talk about how you go about getting your QTS in another video. This video is about migration and migrating as a teacher. So finally, let us look at how do you actually migrate.
Not do that, stop. Make a click, hit the subscribe. Yes, you do. Book with we now kid. Stay tuned for the O2 clip. Rock with we. Hey, pull up. Guys, thank you so much for checking into the Positivity In with us. We are going to do a part 2 for the how to come to the UK. We trust that you found this video very informative and that you will really subscribe, turn on that post notification bell, and stay tuned to our channel. So as soon as we drop that how-to video, you'll be able to rock and come in for you and get all the details. If you have questions, remember to put them in the comment section below. We'll try as best as possible to address them. And I know the videos won't be as detailed. So if you want additional details, of course, reach out to us in the comment section and we will do a video just for you. Have for yourselves a fantabulous day. Put God in your process, migration and all, and absolutely everything will be copacetic. Big up yourself. Peace.